Does your team ever struggle with chaotic communication? Or do you find that important tasks just kind of seem to slip through the cracks? Look, balancing fluid, fast-moving conversations with rigid, reliable task tracking is basically the universal struggle of modern work. It's a struggle that usually ends with someone frantically typing, "Wait, where did that file go?" Today, in this explainer, we're going to dissect exactly how to solve this dilemma by looking at two of the absolute most popular platforms designed to tackle it. We are putting two giants head-to-head today, Slack versus Trello. Now, before we go any further, let me just be clear. Our goal today isn't to declare some subjective winner. It's really not about which tool is universally better, because honestly, they serve profoundly different philosophies of work. Instead, we're going to clearly delineate the specific use cases for both, so you can confidently build the perfect tech stack for your unique team. Let's dive right into our roadmap for today. We'll be covering 1. The basics, 2. Executing workflows, 3. Broad versus task-based messaging, 4. Integrations and AI, and 5. When to choose which tool. All right, starting things off with Section 1, Slack versus Trello, the basics. Before we get into the nitty-gritty of specific features, we really need to anchor our understanding in the foundational philosophies of each tool. Think of Slack as a work operating system. It's this central, highly fluid hub meant to handle organization-wide communication and incredibly fast-moving alignment. It's all about connecting people and information in real time. Trello, fundamentally, is something else entirely. It's a visual task and project management tool built on the Kanban board system. It is specifically designed to track work progress and strict ownership. So one is your conversational hub, the other is your structured map of execution. Moving right along to Section 2, how teams execute workflows. With those core philosophies in mind, how does work actually get done? Well, in Slack, workflows happen dynamically right where your team is already talking. Because it's a conversational hub, workflows are triggered by things like a message, a submitted form, or even a specific event. Using their no-code workflow builder, you can route requests and trigger actions instantly. Say someone submits a support form, it can automatically post to a channel and notify the exact right person, no coding required. By automating these everyday tasks directly within the flow of conversation, Slack offers up to a staggering 28% increase in time saved. Now, Trello takes a completely different path. It structures execution visually. Instead of workflows happening dynamically inside a chat, work moves methodically across lists that represent defined stages of a project. Typically, you'll see things like to do, in progress, and done. A task is a card, and that card physically moves across the board. It is incredibly straightforward and gives you this brilliant, instant status update of exactly where a project stands, just at a glance. To really bring these execution styles to life, let's imagine a fast-paced customer service team. They need to intake issues, coordinate responses across totally different regions, and share real-time alerts. The fluid, automated routing of Slack is absolutely perfect for that. But now, imagine a marketing team planning a massive new campaign launch. They've got planning, production, review, and launch stages. Trello's structured visual Kanban board is the absolute ideal fit to track those specific responsibilities and deadlines from start to finish. Let's switch gears a bit for Section 3, messaging, broad versus task-based. In terms of mechanics, Slack is built for broad, ongoing team communication that spans across an entire organization. It organizes conversations into channels based on topics or teams. If you need a quick side discussion without derailing the main channel, you just use threads to keep the context completely intact. Whether your team needs to rapid-fire problem-solve in real time, or you have distributed teams catching up asynchronously across global time zones, Slack's messaging is designed to literally be your company's central nervous system. Trello flips this model entirely. It limits communication strictly to the task at hand. You are not going to find general water cooler chat here. Instead, comments live directly on individual task cards. If you have a question about a specific marketing graphic, you ask it on that graphic's specific card. And this brilliantly illustrates Trello's strength. It keeps all decisions, feedback, and context glued right to the work itself. When the card moves to the done list, the entire history of that conversation moves with it. Goodbye, scattered, lost information. Which brings us to Section 4, integrations and AI capabilities. Look, a modern tool is really only as good as its ecosystem, and Slack integrates directly with over 2,000 apps. Over 2,000! Because Slack operates as that central work OS we talked about, it acts as a hub that pulls in updates, files, and actions from across your entire company's tech stack. You can get alerts from other software, preview files, and even take actions without ever leaving your Slack channel. It essentially brings the entire outside ecosystem directly into your daily conversational flow. Trello, on the other hand, takes a much more laser-focused approach with what they call power-ups. Power-ups are Trello's specific integrations. But rather than trying to be a universal communication hub for the whole company, Trello uses integrations to extend the functionality of a specific project board. You might use a power-up to connect a Trello board to an issue tracker or your email just to support that single project's workflow. It's all about optimizing the specific task, not necessarily centralizing the whole company. And this exact same philosophical difference applies to how they leverage AI. Slack's AI uses Slackbot to manage broad conversational context. It can summarize massive volumes of channel messages, help you catch up on what you missed while you were out, and draft responses based on your workspace context. It basically wrangles the chaos of conversation. Trello, conversely, uses Atlassian intelligence to optimize specific task data. It helps you draft clear card descriptions, summarize what's inside a complex task, or generate ideas for next project steps. One AI manages communication, the other AI organizes work. And that brings us to our final stop, Section 5, when to choose which tool. So, what does this all mean for you? What is the ultimate strategy for your team? Well, if you operate in a fast-moving, complex environment where your key need is organization-wide coordination and integrating dozens of tools, leaning heavily into Slack alone is your best bet. If you have structured projects, smaller workflows, and your absolute biggest need is visual organization with clear steps, Trello alone is your champion. But here is the secret. This is not a zero-sum game. For teams needing both high-level alignment and rigid execution, the absolute best strategy is actually using both together. Imagine this ultimate synergy for a second. A product team is having a rapid-fire discussion in Slack about changing their priorities. That's the alignment phase. Once a decision is made, they switch over to their Trello board and move a development card into the in-progress list. That's the execution phase. And because these tools are integrated, moving that Trello card automatically triggers an update right back in the Slack channel. It keeps everyone completely informed without anyone having to constantly toggle back and forth. Slack manages the intake and the chatter, Trello securely handles the execution. We started this explainer by asking if you ever struggle with chaotic communication or lost tasks. Well, now you've got the blueprint to actually solve it. Slack gives you fluid coordination. Trello gives you visual structure. Integrating them gives you both. So the question I'll leave you with today as you evaluate your own daily workflows is this: coordination, structure, or both? Take a hard look at your current bottlenecks, apply what we've covered today, and go build a system that actually works for you.